Now,
right?
since we're on the topic of the CBA, can we talk about the new updates?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
So the update really is that there's not really an update.
Yeah. I like to imagine that they all run out of the building like it's the last day of school for
Uh-huh.
Christmas break. But I've been kind of surprised at how people don't understand that the timeline. Maybe I'm talking out of my butt with this, but like the point is they want the pressure of, are they going to miss spring training? Are they going to miss opening day? So it doesn't matter if there's 3 months between now and that deadline. In 3 years, they're going to lollygag until they get to the pressure. So part of me's not surprised that they're doing that, like holidays aside. But do you think there's any chance of them not starting on March 31st?
Like starting the season on March 31st?
Yeah. Like, do you think there's any way for this labor disruption to cause to ripple onto the actual season?
I do. And for those of you who don't know, the players that complained, specifically, I'm citing Zach Britton here, says that the owners have refused to come to the negotiating table. And I feel like you do have to kind of have some back and forth early. Like, I know they had some over the last couple of years. They had some earlier last year. But the fact that the owners sat at the table for literally 7 minutes is what players have said before the lockout.
Yeah.
They listened to the pitch and they said, no, thanks. And they pieced out. They got right out of there and they haven't come back since. And they came out a couple weeks ago and they said that they're not going to address any major economic issues until the middle of January. Jewel and I were talking about this. We're like, okay, that's fine. So hammer out some of the other details in the meantime. The universal DH. I guess arbitration.
Really, it's the arbitration, it's the universal DH. I've heard some rumors with some
expanded playoffs. Yeah, like do all the minutia, all the extra details, and the stuff that they can mostly agree on.
They want that pressure because
I know, and I think you're right.
I don't think it's going to happen because they've lost so much revenue from COVID. Like, why would they do that to themselves? Like,
I know.
Like, yeah, I think you're right. I guess the only thing is bringing scabs. Can they even do that in Major League Baseball?
So they can, and that's kind of the funny thing is that. So Jewel and I talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago.
Because there's repercussions for a professional player being a scab in the pros.
Yes, there
right?
are. There are. Yeah, so they can bring in minor leaguers who are not on the 40-man roster. However, if those guys agree to come in as a scab and play during the lockout, they can never be part of the union.
Yeah.
So they'll get no pension. Yeah, that's really just not smart. But on the other hand, guys who know they're not going to make it, who have just basically been sparring partners in Double A, High A, whatever, short full season A, like maybe.
Now, are you going to want to watch that?
It's baseball, man. I went and watched Fall League.
Yeah. I've also you got to see it through the lens of the casual.
Yeah, I don't know the casual fans.
Yeah, especially April with the NBA playoffs going on and all that. Like, hey, watch Double A players. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, like, for me, it's like my son and I went and sat through a Fall League game on Veterans Day. So we were like, hey, November baseball, let's go. Yeah. And I try to sit through as much spring training as I can just because I need it, just put it in my veins and I'm good to go. But so I'd watch, but as far as the casual fan, I don't know that they would necessarily be happy with it. Maybe for the first month because of the novelty and the ability to actually watch some baseball. But now, I think you're right.
What if, I'm just thinking out loud, like, what if the lack of competitive, like, it's not going to be at the same competitive level that the major leaguers are at? It gets more people watching because there's more ball, like more action going on.
It probably would be because you think about it. So I've talked about this before. I covered college baseball when I was in school, and those games would go for like 4 hours. I swear.
Yeah,
they couldn't get any outs.
They can't get any outs.
15 to 13, 9 innings, and you're like, gosh, can somebody get an out? I got to go to bed.
Well, that's
why
you watch like bad umpire footage, and it'll be like a strike that's way out. They're like, how can he call that? It's like, because he wants to go home. Like,
that's exactly right. That's exactly what we would get to. So it might be more entertaining because the pitching wouldn't be up to snuff, but the hitters would still be really good. So yeah, we might get it.
I think that's a terrible path for baseball to go down. But I just think there's too much money on the table for them to let it squander away. But stupider things have happened. And sometimes when these people get so rich, they kind of lose, I guess, I don't know what that word would be, but
I don't know, they lose some common sense. But we look back though, we in the last decade or so, we've had the NFL and we've had the NBA both lock out, and both of those, like you said, last minute deals. When it was like, man, we're gonna miss time with these games, and they didn't. They didn't miss any time at all.
Yeah, I think
And
the NBA missed a tiny bit a couple years ago. Did they?
I think,
Because I
oh
know they
yeah, I
missed
think
games
you're
in
right.
'98. Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
it
that's
like
right.
bare like less than 10 games.
They pushed the season back, and it started on Christmas Day.
Maybe
That's what
that's
it
what they
was.
did.
Yeah, because that's when the NBA players want to start the season anyway. They don't want to start in October.
Oh, that's what I always say about like basketball. It's like nobody's even trying until Martin Luther King Day. Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly right. That's
people are
100%. I
sitting
mean,
talking. Oh, the Memphis Grizzlies are hot. I'm like, it's December. Like,
well,
chill out.
the
But
Lakers got blown out by like 25 points once in November, and Kobe's like, "It's Christmas. It's not even Christmas yet. The season hasn't started. Get over it. Like, who cares? This game doesn't matter."